I think I probably know most of you. I've had dealings with probably all of you. And in some ways, there's not a lot more that I'd like to say. I'm going to give a bit of an update. But what I've been really pleased about, what Chris mentioned in terms of Jane's passion and her view. I've known Jane, I said, I've known her for a long while, you know, a time at the Welsh Government many years ago. And the support that she and Vaughan, Gethin, have actually provided has been tremendous, yeah, as far as this taking the scheme forward. And as Chris said, a thank you to Welsh Government generally in terms of the role that they're actually being provided. So that's a big plus, where it's not just about the rhetoric, but it's about the actions as well. Yeah. The actions speak louder than words in terms of my view, in many ways. Okay, just a very quick update. As it's been said, the scheme has grown in numbers, but for me, more importantly, it's grown across all the sectors, private, public, and the third sector. We've had our first private sector, 3 organisations now who joined, which is brilliant. And I think that will increase. And in terms of the requirements they put on public sector organisations, fine. But being able to, when we talk about a nation, it's not about the different sectors, it's about all of us. And that's why I'm really pleased that it's actually sort of going to all the sectors and being able to be taken up by them. For me, it's been a real pleasure, in all honesty, in working with all of you. There's been tremendous leadership, and I don't want to embarrass anyone in terms of that, but by way of example, some of you who are here today as leaders, Jan, again, Sue, yeah, Ewan, I know one saying in terms of that, and you, Janet, Jeff, as far as the basis of that, and really pleased, yeah, that in terms of the commitment you've actually shown. I'm getting Rachel and Roslyn and Cherry as well in terms of winning the awards today and so forth. But it has been a real pleasure in working with you. I found it that your openness and your desire has been great. So that kind of puts in mind a lot of the things that Chris has actually sort of identified about what the schemes. I just want to share something with you, just a little something with regard to the health boards in particular. And I think one of the specific reasons for the success of the scheme, a scheme that I know is unique in the way in which it approaches in dealing with the issues of equality, diversity and inclusion, is sometimes we talk about this term intersectionality. And itself focuses on race. What has been clear to me is that if you can change mindsets and actions, it covers all of us, because none of us are just one thing, not just one thing. That's been one of the real positives, I think, as far as the scheme is concerned, in that it sort of brings that forward, and that issue in terms of us as people who may be different, but the difference is the one thing we've all got in common. And that is so true in terms of the basis of being able to use that difference in a positive way to make a difference. And in a sense, I know of the pressures there's been with regard to COVID and the kind of lull, I say to you, that there was with regard to things moving forward. But over the past few months, we've seen things change to a degree of normality, which has meant that people who have not been able, by example, to receive face-to-face awareness sessions. We're now doing that across the whole of Wales. Yeah. That in itself, in being able to provide that awareness, together with helping in terms of completion of the self-assessment workbooks, is again a kind of unique feature of the scheme in the way in which approaches and the need for good staff and good facilitators. And as far as the facilitators are concerned, I'd just like to thank, in terms of the staff team, Sheila, Abby, Suzanne, and the facilitators as far as Gareth Hicks, a big thank you, Adam Pierce, Tony Hendrickson, Michael Flynn, and more recently, Danielle Parker. So all of you, just to say a big thank you in terms of what you've actually provided, because the scheme wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for yourselves. And that's both with regard to the team and to the trainers. So a big thank you from me. And what the hope is, just to finish, is next year, and part of the discussions with Welsh Government, if I can put it that way, is that by 2024, we would hope there would be over 100 certifications by then. That's a challenging target, but it's something that I think we can do. And a big thing about the scheme is sharing good practice. And we've got now a good template that we've nicked from bits that you've actually get to say to other people, have you thought about? Can you do? And that to me is going to make things a lot easier as far as the journey that was mentioned is concerned. So a big thank you. And I've got a second part to do now because Anthony's just Anthony Wilkes, yeah, from United Kingdom Investors in Quality and Diversity, the accreditors and the validators of our scheme. His flight has been delayed, so he won't be there. But on behalf of Anthony, who has been with us at the very start of the journey, and I know that Anthony desperately wanted to be here today. It's a shame he isn't, because his contributions in terms of the work he's actually done for us has been tremendous, real supporter. And I think that if it hadn't been for him in terms of helping the design, it's been a tremendous attribute as far as the scheme itself is actually concerned. That given in terms of award winning is multi-award winning is based on the unique nature of working with people, appreciating people, positive change. So thank you all.